YouTube and Twitch. We are going, looks like we're doing okay on Twitch for now, so we'll let that stand for just a little bit. And we'll go ahead and get Facebook going. So for right now, we should be, again, ready to go. Thursday night, we're on a little bit earlier than usual because of the fact that we have a bit of recording to do in the studio at about 10 o'clock. So it's easier to start a little bit early and then to keep things a little bit easier to get things going for the rest of the evening so I don't impede the progress of anything going on in the studio. And that's what happens, again, when you take a look at this multi-purpose room that we have behind us, Studio A, and that, again, gives us a little bit more in the way of smoother operations here. So I'm going to hop on again, excuse me, a little bit early for the time being. If you've never been here before, you're on Twitch and YouTube, welcome to the show. Drop any comments you have into the comments section. We'd love to know where you're checking in from and, again, what you're seeing in the way of weather. Again, beautiful evening out there, not really seeing too much to worry about in the way of any problems coming up anytime soon. Now, the weekend, that's where we start seeing some more issues taking place. We'll detail that in just a little bit. But in the meantime, going in 5 seconds here, let's go ahead and get Facebook on, and we'll continue on our way. All right, it is Thursday evening. It is just past 9:30. We're on just a little bit earlier than usual for tonight. We've got recording stuff that comes up in the studio here on Broad Street. That happens, again, a little bit later on. We record stuff every once in a while that airs later during the day or the week or the weekend. And that, again, just keeps you updated throughout the weekend. But for tonight, it's easier for me to start a little bit early to let you know more about what is going on, to keep you updated as to what is happening. And we'll probably hop off here in about 15, 20 minutes. But until then, if you have any questions, please drop them into the comments section. If you've never tuned in here before, welcome to the show. This is Weather Overtime. This is our online exclusive video weather blog from the News 12 studios in downtown Chattanooga. If you've never been here before, if you have questions about the forecast, please drop them into the comments section. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Twitch and YouTube as well. And, of course, we'll be posting information in regards to where you can pick this up later on both our app, our social media pages, and our website. That's WDEF.com/weather. Have to thank, again, Epicos Comics, Cards, and Games, your one-stop geek shop, as they call themselves online. More information on that website at epicosccg.com if you'd like to see them. And thanks to all of our sponsors on our various advertisements and segments. But this is the first sponsor we've ever had for Weather Overtime, so thank you very much, Epicos Comics, Cards, and Games, for being our sponsor on here. Out and about for later on tonight, it is going to be brisk, but it is also going to be dry. We don't have anything in the way of rainfall expected, but it will be getting decently chilly tonight, lower 60s, maybe a few mid to high 50s out there, so a little bit on the cooler side as we get into the course of the next several hours, but no need for any rain gear out there. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. Kind of a sunrise sunset theme going on this week on our weather picture of the day from our website, WDEF.com/photos. Tonight's submission, thanks to News 12 viewer Rita Middleton from Ringgold for a picture from Dayton Beach, Florida. A nice view there for our HEP heating weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures, we'd love to see what you're seeing out there. So go ahead and send those in to us at pictures@WDEF.com. You can drop them to our social media pages in the comments section. And again, you can go to our website as well. Please, if you would be so, you can be anonymous if you want to, but please give us a description and or a location as to where you were, whatever it was you were looking at, what town or city or village or whatever you happen to be nearby. That'll help us to tell everybody else about what you saw out there. Thanks to the Tennessee Aquarium for their online webcams. nice view out there. You never know who's going to be passing through the neighborhood. Thanks a lot to the Tennessee Aquarium. That view, of course, is available from tnaqua.org if you would like to check out more of their website cameras out around the area. Decently quiet for tonight over downtown. Looking back to the east-northeast, again, that's where moonrise will be later on this evening, just past midnight, if I'm not mistaken, and also, again, decently clear skies, so not seeing too much of any major problems out there with visibility. Let's check out, that's the 1% list Scenic City camera. Can't really see it just yet, just out of the frame up a little bit higher. Again, from the north and south towing camera, the two bright lights in the sky tonight are Venus and Jupiter. And you might, if there wasn't for any cloud cover out there, if you had a good view of the western horizon, you just might have been able to see the planet Mercury out there. But with the clouds in the way, probably not going to be able to see too much out across the area tonight. But Venus and Jupiter getting closer and closer to a conjunction in the next couple of days. So again, going to be seeing some nice sky show territory out there. So please keep an eye on the skies and we'll keep you updated. Back to the mid to high 70s. It's very comfortable across the area for tonight, and hopefully again will continue to be so. It's going to be getting warmer into the next few days, but it's not going to be all that much on the warmer side. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. Allergy levels, mold spores remain at moderate as they have for about the last 48 hours or so. Tree, grass, and weed pollen down to the lower levels, so anybody who's got allergy problems, this might be a bit of an explanatory as to why and what is going on, but so far not nearly as terrible as it was just a couple of weeks ago, so good news again on that. Air quality overall at the mid-50s level from earlier this evening. Main pollutants, microns, 2.5 particle pollution, that's the very small stuff hanging in the atmosphere, that's smoke, soot, and exhaust, that at the highest level of about a 54. Larger particle pollution of about 10 microns, that's dust, soil particles, and pollen, that's at about an 8 overall, and the rest of the main problem we have is ozone gas. That's a little bit higher than what it was yesterday, but still in the green or good levels for right now, so not doing too bad. Now tomorrow, Friday, if you are heading toward western South Carolina, eastern North Carolina, or the Atlanta metro area, the counties included there, there is a code orange ozone alert and air quality watch basically for all of the Atlanta metro area. That is where we could see air quality down below 100 to 150, and again, that is where anybody who has lung ailments, emphysema, asthma, physical lung ailments could be seeing a harder time breathing into tomorrow. So that is something to watch out for, but again, not a huge problem into the rest of the area. Not an effect for our area. None of the counties in the News 12 viewing area, especially in northwest and north central Georgia, not affected at this time. If that changes, of course, we will let you know. Temperatures right before we hit the top of the hour, numbers back in the 60s and mid 70s, so very comfortable. 90s earlier this week, all the way back to around Jackson, Mississippi. Otherwise, again, very stable temperatures around much of the southeast United States. Comfortable, dry, very much on the mild side, thanks to high pressure sticking around. That's also giving us the kind of stagnant atmosphere. Now, high pressure has started to leave the United States. Winds are going to start to turn back out of the south, and that is going to give us more potential of scattered showers and maybe some thunderstorms as we go into the course of the next couple of days. Toward about the weekend, again, the drier air over here, but as we go into Saturday, and especially Saturday night into Sunday, the more moisture-rich air will be making its way across the southeast United States. So you're definitely going to notice the dry air going away, and the warm, moist air, the more sultry conditions out there, those will be continuing across portions of the area. So again, we could be looking at the potential of some fairly humid conditions out there into the course of the next several days. Thursday, Friday, high pressure still remains in control, but weakening. And then Saturday afternoon, better chances of rain, possibly some thunderstorms, but better chances of showers and thunderstorms the farther we go into and around Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon, catching a bit of a break on early Monday, but then more chances of showers and thunderstorms will be returning to the area as we get into the rest of this next week. Low temperatures tonight, northeast Alabama, you'll be back in the high 50s to the low 60s. North central Georgia, mid 50s, high 50s to lower 60s for the rest of northwest Georgia. Coolest numbers for western North Carolina, you'll be back in the lower to mid 50s. Doesn't look like any 40s for right now. And southeast Tennessee, mid to high 50s, especially in the River Valley along the Georgia line and into the plateau. Mid 50s on either side of I-75 between Chattanooga and Knoxville and I-40. But otherwise, again, comfortable, dry, should be a beautiful evening across much of the area. What we're going to be seeing in the next couple of days is still very much on the dry side, but watch what happens as we go from Saturday into Sunday. We start to see the chances of rain really start to move back in again. Not looking at huge amounts, but enough to maybe settle the dust and give us more potential of some of those scattered showers out there. We still need the rainfall. There's no question about that. If you haven't seen this, we talked about this on News 12 earlier tonight. Last week, before all the rains arrived, we had the 4 out of 5 extreme drought situation covering a good 75% of the News 12 viewing area. Now that has been significantly reduced, but the plateau, the I-75 and I-40 corridors, and back into areas of North Georgia, western North Carolina, and extreme southeast Tennessee, that is where we are seeing that is the worst dry conditions we have, and we could definitely use a little bit more rainfall to get through that. Will we get that into tropical storm season? That's a very good possibility. We're only about 4 days into tropical storm season, and we'll talk about what's going on out there in just a little bit. The World Meteorological Organization is warning everybody on the Western Hemisphere to prepare for what appears to be a very strong, possibly even stronger than that, El Nino. It's called the Southern Oscillation that takes place into portions of the Pacific Ocean. And the hotter the weather, the more the weather around it, the more the warmer temperatures of the ocean, the more it can disrupt weather patterns. And with the hotter conditions out there, we could be looking at some very big changes taking place out there. More information at WMO.int if you'd like to explore the WMO for yourself. Now, anything on this map that you see is over 80 degrees, and that encompasses a good portion of the Western Atlantic, the Caribbean, and the Gulf, including the Bay of Campeche, the Loop Current area, parts of the Western and Southwestern Caribbean. Anything on here that is at or over 80 degrees, those types of water temperatures can cook storms. They are rocket fuel for any storms that form out there, which means the entire basin here is primed and ready to go to help storms become more strong more quickly. And that is a very significant start to the season. Now, beyond that, well down into the Atlantic, that great big blob of red you see there is the El Nino developing. Now that we're in June, we can tell more about what's going on, where, and by how much. The super El Nino is a very strong, way above normal, 2 to 3 degrees above normal on temperatures, and that doesn't seem like too much, but in this type of a situation, that dome of rising air can block or change the pattern of a lot going on in this part of the hemisphere, including causing subsidence or subsiding sinking air over the Caribbean, the Gulf, and the Atlantic. With a La Nina year, colder waters here can help cause more problems in the way of more hurricanes, stronger storms, an ocean and a continent away in portions of the Atlantic. Here, we're going to be seeing a lot more storms develop, make their way out into the ocean or make their way up toward the Baja area, western Mexico even. the southwest United States. About 2 seasons ago, Otis, which developed off the coast of Mexico, was a tropical storm. 18 hours later, it was a Category 5 hurricane. Less than a day for a storm to go from a tropical storm to a killer hurricane with winds almost totally maxed out, over 150 miles per hour. That could easily happen once again, and that is something that we are going to be watching with a lot of interest. Now, that being said, 4 days into the Atlantic hurricane season, nothing is going on, and very good news about that. Disorganized mess off the coast of North Carolina, more areas of disturbed weather into the eastern Gulf. Now, beyond that, looking out into the Pacific, we have a couple of systems developing right along the west coast of Central America, off the southern coast of Mexico. Those storms are now showing much higher development possibility there. We also have in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, first tropical storm of the season, Amanda. That is where we will be seeing, again, the potential for more problems. Now, the good news is at this time, Amanda is well away from the Hawaiian Islands, and it is now starting to turn the Hawaiian Islands over in this part of your screen. What you were looking at, those lines that you see on there, spaghetti plots as they are known, different models lining up very well together will be in agreement that says the storm is going to move in this direction. So in this case, it was going west-northwest. It's going to curve to the southwest, and as of right now, does not appear to be a threat to the Hawaiian Islands, but this could become a little bit stronger. Still expected to be a tropical storm, so no threat to the United States at this time, so good news on that. The dust that we've been watching from the Sahara, which happens at this time of the year, is going to continue to spill across the ocean. That also will quash development of any storms in the Atlantic. It filters out the sunshine. Some of this could make its way into the southeast United States. No ill effects from this. The only thing we should see is some more brilliantly colored sunrises and sunsets out there. But other than that, not really seeing much of any major concern for right now. All right, 7-day forecast, looking at Island Cove, Marina and Resort, and showing again the winds stirring things around a little bit. Through the weekend into next Monday, World Ocean Day, not really getting too much in the way of, say, hot weather. We're looking at warmer weather coming up, no question about that. Temperatures in the high 80s, which, again, for this time of the year is pretty much spot on. Just a little bit warmer than normal. Not seeing any 90s, and we could easily be back into the high 90s, even close to the triple digits. That's a very good possibility out there, but not seeing anything in the way of major amounts of change. Sunday is where the rainfall comes back and sticks around all the way through the middle to the almost the end of next week. Whether we go all the way through the week with rainfall, that kind of remains to be seen. The computer models take most of it out of the forecast by next Friday. Not all of it, but a good portion of it. We'll continue to monitor that and give you an idea as to what we're looking at coming up in the course of the next several days. So stay tuned for more information there, and we'll keep you advised as to what we're going to be looking at out there. Weather poll question of the day brought to you by Williams Plumbing Services. And again, thanks to all of our sponsors for advertising with us here on News 12. No right or wrong answers, just your opinion. And asking the question, are you looking forward to summer and hotter temperatures? A lot of people I know very much in favor of getting into those hotter temperatures, getting into the 90s, the triple digits, looking forward to going swimming, water skiing, just laying out and catching a few rays, whatever it is. Not my style of things, and I've been through some pretty impressive summers growing up back in Topeka, Kansas, including one time back in about 1990. We got up to about 112 degrees one July. That was a rather steamy one, but overall, roughly speaking, about 8 out of 10 of you are not looking forward to the hotter summertime temperatures. So interesting. I would have thought there would have been more yes votes on there, but I guess not showing that at this point. So again, looking forward to the warmer temperatures on there. not happening on there. We'll have a new poll going up at midnight, so stay tuned for more. That's at WDEF.com/vote now if you'd like to take a look at our polls and see what the latest question of the day is. Numbers back to an area around 100 million miles out in the solar system. That again showing the very warm temperatures. It's early summer near the equator on Mars. The Curiosity rover has a weather station attached to it, and it sends back periodic reports. The high temperature, which was a blazing hot for Mars, 34 degrees Fahrenheit, and a low temperature of 96 below zero Fahrenheit. You have to remember the atmosphere on Mars is, number one, mostly carbon dioxide, and number two, about 1/100th the thickness of the atmosphere we enjoy here on the third rock from the sun. That is very thin, again, very carbon dioxide filled, so it doesn't hold the heat in too well. And we see again these numbers, very warm summer-like temperatures for Mars. Very big range of temperatures on Mars too. That is again fairly typical. Gets even worse in the wintertime right there. And waiting to see what the next report brings in. And thanks to NASA and the Curiosity rover for sending in this information. I would have loved to have had this information when I was a kid, but we didn't have the internet or Mars rovers at that time. Temperatures into tomorrow morning, possibly in the high 50s to around the low 60s. So not too terrible, but that jacket would come in handy. And also, again, needing a little bit of some more rain gear into the weekend. Chip Chapin's got your forecast coming up on the morning show, so stay tuned for him and his updated forecast to get you into the weekend. I think that should do it for tonight. No questions on Twitch or YouTube at this point. Not seeing anybody checking in for right now. So very quiet for tonight on the questions, but that's okay. Again, you can tune in again later on if you have any other questions about things. We'll be glad to answer what we can. We've got to go ahead and wrap things up here in the studio before we get into 10 o'clock as we do some recordings going on here. So I've got to hop off of here so that everybody can get stuff done in the studio here in the next few minutes. Questions about the forecast and you want to get a direct line, email me. Again, that's available at Onek on the blue bar down below, Onek@WDEF.com. And be glad to answer whatever you've got. If we can't answer it, we'll do our best to find an answer for you on there. If you've got information about a story, about an occurrence out there you think would be newsworthy, let us know. Go to our website, WDEF.com, hit the Contact Us link, and you can contact anybody here at News 12 to let them know. Advertisers, if you'd like to be a sponsor or one of our advertisers here on News 12, like Epicos Comics, Cards, and Games are for Weather Overtime, please get to our sales staff through our website, and you can start advertising with us very soon, depending on what kind of monetary deal it takes to get things taken care of. I just produce the graphics and the shows. I know nothing about selling advertising, but the folks upstairs, they're the experts. Contact them, and they should be able to help you, again, with that. Quiet for tonight, quiet for the next couple of days. No major problems popping up for now. Rain by next week. We'll be watching that naturally, so keep it tuned to News 12 for more on that. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Thanks for joining us. For more details on what's going on around the area, again, our website, our app, or our social media pages, which you can access at any point in time. And, of course, we'll have more coming up tonight on News 12 at 11. Thanks for joining us for Weather Overtime for Thursday, and we'll talk to you again coming up on End of the Week Friday.